guys? I'm Jess. You're watching Keto Rewind. Welcome back. Today's topic is going to be pretty raw and real. I know that a lot of people can relate to what I'm about to say, but I wanted to give like a trigger warning because there are those in like what I'm trying to say in actual situations like this, and I don't want to discredit that. I actually made this video 3 times so that I wouldn't come off as insensitive. So I'm going to apologize ahead of time for what I'm about to say, but I couldn't think of a better way to describe my relationship with food and compare it to a abusive relationship and addiction. Addiction to sugar, that is. So I wrote some notes so I'll stay on track because I don't want to, like I said, it's a trigger or a hot button type comparison, but I just couldn't find another way to say this so you get what I'm trying to say, like make sense of it. So let's get started. Let's see. Okay. So it's easy to see the signs now that I'm like in recovery or whatever, of the red flags and, you know, that I ignored in the past. But when I was neck deep into this relationship with food that was toxic and ugly, I had every excuse in the world for it, you know, literally every excuse of the worst. Excuse it away, you know. But being addicted to sugar and carbohydrates, it's just emotionally, physically, mentally, it's abusive to your body. My food was there for me emotionally, giving me like the false impression that I had a companion. Similar to the relationships that you can think of they're very toxic. Well, you know, you have your moments where you're just like, it's amazing, what an amazing relationship, and then it's down, like the ups and the downs that are like so like huge in ups and downs. I loved food with all of my heart. When I was eating all the carbs, I was high on endorphins, and it made me ignore and forget about life. Anything that stressed me out, anything that worried me, anything that bothered me, you know, I was eating whatever and it felt so good and nothing else mattered. It was like being comforted with a big warm hug, you know. Nothing else mattered. I was so satisfied with that crutch that it gave me that it made me disregard all of the red flags, everything. I actually became blind to them. It didn't even scare me that I was diagnosed with a heart condition. You know, like I kept on in this relationship with 100% of me in it. The very thing that I loved, food, was actually killing me, and I didn't care. I was all in. Being an emotional eater, I sought food to help me solve my problems. Besides, who else in the world would love me the way food loves me? I had no self-worth. That same food that was previously my comfort, my friend, my partner in crime, now transitioned to the aggressor. After consuming it, it rears its ugly head, showing my reflection in the mirror and pointing out all of my flaws, showing me that I wasn't good enough, I was ugly, nobody would want me, I was a fat slob, I was disgusting, or even that I needed more food. It had me convinced, my food or my abuser, my food, had me convinced that I didn't matter and I needed to keep putting everybody else's needs before mine. You know, put me back on ice in the corner, you know. It was easy to explain away my bruises, or if you will, in this case, my expanding waistline, as I'm referring to as my bruise. It was easy to explain that away. I was a busy mom. I'm a small business owner. I'm a wife. I'm young and there's so much to do. And it was all valid excuses to keep seeing those marks get bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually, years of that toxic relationship turned to a 140-pound weight gain. I barely resembled the girl I once was. And that's physically and emotionally, mentally, all of that. I lost myself and let food control my life. Food isolated me from life, social interactions. If I had $1 for every time someone invited me to go do something and I politely declined using whatever excuse that I could think of, I'd be rich. I was ashamed to being so bruised up, or as in this case, fat. I didn't want to be in public for fear that somebody would see me or someone that I knew would see me and they know my dirty little secret. I was embarrassed I was embarrassed that I got myself into this situation in the first place and let it have so much control over my life. I was drowning in it. I tried to leave my food or my abuser so many times. You can also compare it to like an addiction, because I'm definitely addicted to sugar, or I was addicted to sugar. I don't know, whatever the terms are. I would have all the hope in the world that I could get. I wouldn't be controlled by food, that I was going to beat it this time, that I would magically get better this time. How many times, do you say this time or this Monday, I'm going to eat it all up now because Monday I'm going to change my life. I'm going to go on a diet, or I'm going to do whatever, take this magic pill. Or how many times, do even you say that? Like, I had so many of those times. I must have yo-yo dieted. I couldn't even put a number on it. It was that many times. Like, I definitely have tried to lose this weight before. But just like every other time, I'd fall off the wagon. I'd give it like, a week or so, and then the elephant in the room would be back and it'd be looking all beautiful at me, and I would give in and back to the same, situation, toxic situation. The cycle repeated itself so many times. It was just, the yo-yo dieting was just off the charts. And then on February 11th, 2019, enough was enough. I discovered the keto way of life, and I got my second chance. I was going to come forward and confess my dirty little secret to everybody. I wouldn't care who knows about it this time, and I didn't care what anybody thought. I was going to leave my food once and for all and beat my addiction. Confessing my secret, like making this YouTube channel, was so empowering to me. It's like I got it off my chest. And mind you, even the people that know me knew that I was fat, but I don't know who I thought I was fooling, because I never posted like a full body shot on Facebook, or, it was always just a headshot, or I'd take a selfie with my kids, but I would conveniently crop out my muffin top in photos, I don't know who I was fooling though. Like, I don't know. It's sad, because I wasn't fooling anybody. But the more people that I told about my dirty little secret of being morbidly obese, being 140 pounds overweight, weighing 309 pounds, the more power it gave to me. It kept giving me strength, and leaving food, or leaving my food addiction, my food abuser, whatever, was going to be an epic battle. It was not going to be easy. 140 pounds is a significant amount of weight to lose. But everybody was rallying behind me. There's safety in numbers. Fish swim in a school of fish. Well, there's safety in numbers. So the more people I had around me, the more power it gave me to give me that strength to leave food. And I wasn't going to fail this time. It was just not an option. And I thought it was the only way I was going to win this battle, was if I came forward and I was public about it. And plus, I kind of knew that there were so many people like me. I couldn't be the only one that felt this way. And I felt like that alone, that help or that inspiration also helped give me power. So fast forward 2.5 months, 44 pounds later, on the ketogenic diet. I wouldn't say that I'm like in the beginning anymore, but I'm thick in it now. I'm thick into my keto journey. And what an amazing transformation it's already been. Like, that timid, shy, emotional person that was hiding in the corner for the past 13 years, the person that's like, who? That person was gaining all of that confidence and self-worth and self-love back in this journey. Food was no longer in control of me. I left that toxic relationship once and for all. I'm a survivor. For the first time in my life, I actually feel like I'm going to do it this time. Like, I know I'm going to be there. How long it takes me is irrelevant. Just the fact that I know I'm going to hit my goal weight. Do I miss my abuser? A lot of people ask me all the time, do you miss eating those foods? What are you going to do when you get to your goal weight? Can you go back to the old way of eating? Honestly, yes. I miss those foods. I loved those foods. Those foods were amazing to me. I would love to eat nothing but funnel cakes with powdered sugar all on the top, fried chicken, fried French fries, anything fried. All the sweets, the cakes, the cookies, the ice creams. Yeah, I miss it. Sure, absolutely. I would eat that way if it didn't kill me slowly. I loved it. I'm a sugaraholic. But it's a death sentence. And what do I miss more? Eating that way or living? I'm going to pick, I miss me more. I miss me. I miss me more. No amount of sugar or, no amount of sugar could replace the feeling that I have now about myself, about my life. I just feel so amazing now. It gives me so much strength to just whatever, no big deal. Because if you think about it this way, when you eat those foods, it's the endorphins, just like any other addiction. When you eat foods like that, you have endorphins in your brain that go up. And it gives you that ooh, yes, feeling. But that feeling is temporary. It could last 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then reality comes back. And that reflection in the mirror that tells you how ugly you are, how you're not good enough, how much you hate yourself, how you're disgusted by yourself, and then not to mention those thoughts, but for the next week, your stomach's going to get fatter. You're just going to feel, and then that's going to make you miserable again. You're going to be tired, but that person looking back for you, it comes back. It's temporary. So when you eat something that's off plan, you're only temporarily going to feel good for a couple of minutes. It's not something that you'll feel good for the rest of the day, or you'll be, be so happy, whoever regretted eating a salad versus who regretted eating a donut, that way of life's a trap, and that's not me anymore. I want me. So when I say yes, I do miss those foods, but I really miss me first, me more. And I don't want to ever go back to that, because that's something that was just a vicious cycle. And now I'm living life again. I'm happy. I feel amazing. I've got so much energy. I love myself again. I don't hate the person I'm looking at in the mirror anymore. The silver lining in all of this is that keto taught me, it taught me that I can take away the power of food. I no longer spend every minute thinking of my next meal, what drive-through I can go through and get a quick, whatever it is, hamburger, French fries, ice cream, whatever, what clothes I could buy to hide my fat, to keep my secret. Keto intermittent fasting taught me to cope with my emotions instead of eating my emotions. And that saying, get busy living or get busy dying? Well, keto taught me to get busy living again. I'm back. I feel like, I don't want to say I went through a quarter life crisis, but I certainly am coming out on the other side, like, yes. So once I reach my goal weight, I'll transition into what's called maintenance mode, and I'll put a video here, the difference between weight loss mode and maintenance mode. And then at that point, you can add in more carbs. And I'm not saying you're going to add in like fried foods and all eating like crap again, but you can bump the amount of carbs that you can have up a little. So from only having 20 net carbs in maintenance mode, you can bump it up to like 50. And that means you can add back in like sweet potatoes, purple potatoes, quinoa, like nice whole grains, healthy, colorful veggies, maybe some fruit, like lots of blueberries and strawberries, and not feel guilty about having fruit. But would it be fair to say I would never cheat again or eat any of those bad foods? No, that's not true. I'll probably cheat once in a while, but it will be in moderation. It'll literally be once in a while. Instead of having fried foods as like my bulk of my diet, maybe I'll have fried foods once a month, like in moderation. However, if I see my weight starting, or if I'm eating too many of those foods, or I need to snap out of it, I'll go back to weight loss mode and detox from it. Like there's a way to fix that problem before. You're not just gonna gain it all back. You're learning the tools on how to cope with these things. This is going to happen. Food and stress will be in front of your face your entire life. But now going through this process, you're gonna learn how to battle those things. So also another question I get asked is, don't you get tired of tracking your macros, or I don't want to track my macros forever, or something like that? Me either. But right now in weight loss mode, I have no idea what a real serving size is, because the serving size that I was eating got me to 309 pounds. So tracking my macros right now is teaching me how to eat properly. It's more of like education. It's not something you have to do forever. Some people will catch on faster than others. Some people, you're at your own learning curve, but you should know what's in your food. You should know what it's made up of, and you should know how much of that food you can have. So once I get to my goal weight, I don't know what somebody who weighs 169 pounds can eat. I have no idea. I've been 309 pounds for like 13 years. So what I'm trying to say is, like, once I've learned, just like I'm learning now, which I don't track my macros as much right now because I know how to lose weight and I know about what I need to be eating every day. And plus I'm doing so much fasting, I'm always under my numbers anyways. But I'm saying, but that's only because I've learned, and it's here now. Once I've hit my goal weight and I'm 169 pounds and I've learned how to eat at that weight so I don't gain weight, I'll relax a little on counting the macros. If I find myself getting off track, if I find myself gaining again, if I find myself, needing a little attitude adjustment, I know what to do now. So, that's huge. That's whole part of the process of how you don't gain the weight back. So, but you bet your butt I'll be tracking those macros again if anything changes, because I'm doing all this weight right now so that I can live my best life and I can be healthy and I can, be the mom I'm supposed to be for my kids, be the wife I'm supposed to be to my husband, be the business owner that I should be, the influencer to you guys, like the whole 9 yards. It's a complete package. And it all intertwines again. And I'm not going to ever go back to that abusive and toxic relationship with food ever again, because I'm here and I'm back. So if this video touched home with you, or if you can relate, please leave me a comment. I hope you took the context of what I'm saying out of it and not trying to be insensitive about a truly abusive relationship with a person and all that. I hope you understood the way I described it, but I honestly couldn't think of a better way to say this than to use that analogy. So I hope you see me at the next video, and come on, you can do this with me. Comment below, let me help you. And subscribe. Obviously I have 96 pounds left to lose, so there's gonna be lots more content. So have a great day and see you next time. I'm Jess and you're watching Keto Rewind.